Hey guys, welcome to a new video, and this video is going to be a little different. I'm going to be talking about my second year of going to Fan Expo Denver. So last year I decided to go because some of the One Piece voice actors were going to be there, and that's when I went. And last year there was Colleen Clinkenbeard, who's the voice of Luffy, Lucy Christian, who is the voice of Nami, and Christopher Sabat, who is the voice of Zoro. So I ended up getting my 3 DVD collections signed by them with their respected characters on the cover. And this year that was the main reason I went as well, because Colleen Clinkenbeard came back, as well as Ian Sinclair, who voices Brooke, Sonny Strait, who voices Usopp, and Eric Vale, who voices Sanji. So I ended up going for Thursday's Fan Expo as well as Saturday, because I wanted to take a break in between on Friday and Sunday. So I'm gonna start showing you guys what I actually got, because I got more than just the covers signed. I got other stuff as well. So I ended up going with my sister. Thank goodness for her, because it was very overwhelming even from last year. This year is also overwhelming, just how many people are in a single space. Anyways, let's get to the actual stuff, and I'm going to go in order on which I got them. My original plan was to go to Michaela Jill Murphy's table, and if you don't know who that is, she is the voice of Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And the reason I wanted to go to her table first when this thing started is because I actually made fan art for her, because she actually is the only person that I know for sure accepts gifts. So I wanted to go to her first, but unfortunately she wasn't there when Fan Expo started, so I ended up going to Sonny Strait first. And here is my copy of One Piece Collection number 5 signed by Sonny Strait. And he's a really cool guy, and I kind of embarrassed myself in front of him, because when me and my sister went up to him, he started signing my copy, and he said if I had any questions, and I just said flat out no. And in my head I thought he was asking if I had any questions about the Fan Expo, not anything from One Piece. Luckily my sister asked him something, and then I asked him something, so I kind of saved myself a little bit. But yeah, he gave me kind of like a weird look. But yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing thing that happened to me during this whole Fan Expo. But yeah, it was really cool for him to sign this. And yeah, he did say that his favorite moment in One Piece is during Water 7, when Usopp gets beat up and then he goes to Frankie's house to retrieve the money that they stole. So that was pretty cool of him to give me that information. So the next person I went to is none other than Ian Sinclair, who's the voice of Brooke, of course. And here's my copy of the One Piece Collection number 14 that he signed for me. And yeah, he's also a really cool guy, and we told him thank you for making us emotional during the reveal of who his friend is. And we did hear him do the Brooke laugh a couple of times, because on the booth, or his table I should say, it said on there if you made him a joke, he would do the laugh. So that was cool of him to do that. So after I went to Ian Sinclair, Michaela still was not there. This was in the same area. So I went over to the next section of the tables, and I went to see Erica Linebeck, I believe is how you pronounce her name. And she's this voice actress from this show called Hell of a Boss. Now, I've never heard of the show until of Fan Expo, but the reason I went to her is she is known also for voicing video game characters. And I wanted to get a video game signed that she came out in. Here's the game I got signed. This is Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, so she is the voice of Jessie. And I really wanted to get this signed, not just by her, by someone else. That's why you see the sticky note here for now. But yeah, she's a really nice lady. She's really pretty too. And I think I was probably the only one, at least on Thursday, that got a video game cover signed. Everyone else was in line to sign something for the Hell of a Boss show. So that was pretty cool of her to sign this for me. So after I got the signature from Erica, Michaela finally showed up and she started setting up her booth. And at this point in time, the photo op that I had with Michaela was nearing, so I was debating whether to just get in line for her or just go to the photo op area and wait for the photo op and then go to her table after. But I decided to get in line, and unfortunately there was a lot of VIPs that ended up going first, so I didn't think I was going to be able to see her before my photo op, but luckily I did. And I gave her the fan art I made of her, and she seemed to really like it, which is nice because I was very nervous whether or not she was going to like it, because when I was like the next in line, my heart was beating out of my chest because I didn't know if she was going to like it, to be honest, but she did. She's a complete sweetheart. So what I actually ended up taking for her to sign is something I bought 2 weeks before the convention. And this is it right here, this massive Toph Funko Pop. And I kind of regret getting this Funko Pop, not because it's not cool or anything, but because when we were at her table, she actually had regular size Funko Pops for sale that she would be able to sign for you. If I would have known that, I would have just not bought this and just bought one of the pop toy that she had there. So I got this and she signed this. And the other thing I ended up buying so she can sign is this headshot of her with all of the characters that she voices. And what's really cool about this signature is that she actually signed it with her stage name and her real name. So her stage name is Jessie Flower, and she also signed Michaela Jill Murphy, which she doesn't do very often from what I've seen when I look at like eBay and stuff. But yeah, she's really cool. And she is my favorite character in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So after I got the signatures from her, it was time for me to head over to the photo op area. So me and my sister went, and she waited for me while I went into the actual photo op, and this is the photo that actually came about. So after the photo op, I went to pick up my photo, obviously, and then I went to Steve Downes. If that sounds familiar, that is the voice actor for Master Chief himself from Halo. And I am a huge Halo fan. Halo has been a part of my life since I was a kid. So as soon as I saw Steve Downes and Jen Taylor, who's also the voice of Cortana, were going to be there, I had to get their autographs. So I went to Steve Downes, and then I was going to go to Jen Taylor, but unfortunately Jen Taylor was not there by the time I got Steve Downes' autograph. So I got two things signed from Steve Downes. So the first thing I got signed is none other than this original copy of Halo 3 that I had since 2010 when I first got my 360. And Steve Downes is such a nice guy. He's a really cool guy. You know, he shook my hand and he, asked me what my name was. And I told him I love his games that he came out in, and yeah, overall just a really cool guy. So as you can see on the top here, I also have Jen Taylor's autograph, and she's also a very nice lady. And I'm really glad I got both of these signatures. Now, I'm a little sad that I didn't get Keith David's signature from last year, because he was at Fan Expo Denver last year, but his line was super long, and from what I've heard in the line waiting for Steve Downes' autograph last year, Keith David's line's wait time was over 4 hours, and I'm like, yeah, no thanks. But maybe one day I'll get Keith David to sign this. On top of my copy of Halo 3 being signed, I also got this 8x10 print signed by Steve Downes. So this is the original cover art for Halo 2, and this is my favorite cover art from the trilogy. And he had the 8x10s for Halo 3, Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, as well as Halo 4 and Halo Infinite. But to me, this is my favorite one. So I got this signed, and it was really cool when I was in line to get this signed. There was actually a dude that brought 2 Xbox 360s to get signed, and there were the Halo 3 editions. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But that's also kind of dumb because he didn't have like a suitcase or anything to carry these in. He only had a backpack, and I was like, damn, dude, those 360s were heavy. But it's pretty cool to get something like that signed. So after I did that, I wanted to go get Jen Taylor's autograph, but she wasn't there, so instead I went to Eric Vale because when I first got there, he was the only One Piece person that was not there because he had a panel for another thing he was in. So I went to his table and I got this signed right here, my One Piece collection number 6. So he put Diable Jambe. This is his famous move in the show, and I was really glad to get this. And we told him that we love him more than we love Zoro. I told him these exact words: "I like you better than Mosshead," and he was like, "You are my favorite person here." And yeah, all of the One Piece people are sweethearts. They're very nice people. And the dub version of One Piece is how I watch it. So I'm really attached to these voice actors and their roles. But yeah, what's really cool too is now I have the original Straw Hats signed on my One Piece collection DVDs. So that's really cool. The only ones I'm missing now for the Straw Hats is Robin, Frankie, and Chopper, as well as Jinbei. So as soon as I get those, I'll have all the Straw Hats, which is really cool. After I got Eric Vale's autograph on my DVD, then I went back to Jen Taylor because she was there, and finally got that signed, my Halo 3. And now when I look back, I probably should have gotten a print of Cortana as well, but I was like, I've already spent quite a bit, and I have a strict budget to make sure I get everything I want on the first day, so I didn't get a second print for her. So after that, I was pretty much done with all the signatures. So me and my sister went to this area where it said Grant Gustin pre-sale for autographs and stuff, as well as John Cena. And I went to Grant Gustin's pre-sale because I was like, I want to see what that's about and see where Grant Gustin was going to be, because they didn't show where Grant Gustin was going to be for his signing. It only showed the people that are already there, and the only thing that showed for Grant Gustin and John Cena is the pre-sale stuff. So that's where I went, and I asked the lady, where is Grant Gustin going to be on Saturday, because that's where he was going to be. And she told me she was going to be in this area where William Shatner is right now. And I was like, okay. And I asked her, can I buy the autograph when I get to the table, or do I have to buy it pre-sale? And she said it's only pre-sale. I was like, oh, thank goodness I went to that table and asked. So I bought an autograph for Grant Gustin. I bought the ticket and everything, and I put it in my bag to make sure I don't lose it. And then after that, me and my sister went to 2 booths that we both really wanted to see. She went to a jewelry booth when I went to the Serenity Forge booth. Serenity Forge is a publisher of video games that is based here in Colorado. And I really wanted to get a certain game, and I didn't know if they had it. They didn't show it on their social media that they had it there, but I wanted to check just to make sure. And I ended up getting 3 games at this booth, and the first game I got is Needy Streamer Overlord, and I really wanted this, and I almost ordered it through Amazon, but when I saw it there, I was like, might as well get it. It's right here in person. So I got this. Next game, and the only other Switch game I got, is this 2064 game. So this is kind of like a companion game with the Valhalla visual novel game. So I really wanted to get this as well. And the last game I got, the one I wanted to go to the booth for, is none other than Dusk Falls, or As Dusk Falls, I should say. And I really liked this game when it came out on Xbox a couple years ago, and I wanted to have a physical copy because it is a very good narrative-driven experience, and I could never find it like at Best Buy or at Amazon, so I really wanted to get it there, and thank God they had it. Alright, so that was all the stuff I got on Thursday. So the next day we went, it was on Saturday, and we both had a game plan. My sister went to go see Brendan Fraser and get autographs from him, and I thought that I was going to be at Grant Gustin's line for a majority of the time there. So I gave her what I wanted to get signed, and what I wanted to get signed is my 4K Blu-ray copy of The Mummy. So I was debating whether to get my Blu-ray copy of George of the Jungle or The Mummy signed, and it made more sense to do The Mummy because I love that movie more. So I gave her that copy of the movie, and she went straight there because Brendan Fraser's line was already packed as hell before it even officially started, because the time for the convention was at 10 a.m., but they let us into the actual show floor at 9:30, and it was already packed for Brendan Fraser. So I went straight to Grant Gustin, and there was that lady from Thursday selling pre-sale tickets again, but I ended up getting in line because I already bought my ticket, thank God. And I was among the first like handful of people that was in line for Grant Gustin. And luckily for me and for everyone else in that line, Grant Gustin showed up like at 10:05, so not that long after when it was officially supposed to start. And thank goodness, because I thought he was going to be like an hour or two. And of course, I am a huge Flash guy. He is my favorite DC superhero of all time, so I had to get his autograph. And here it is right here. I ended up getting a print instead of my Blu-ray copy of the Flash season 1. So here's the signature from Grant Gustin. Like, he was formal when I went up to his booth because I think he just wanted to get as many people's signatures as he could, and his assistants were kind of like pushing us, rushing us, just to get us on our way. But he seemed like a really nice person, and I did end up getting a photo op with him later, and he really was nice. So that was the print I got signed from him. And the next thing I decided to do is to go to Tom Cavanaugh, who is also the person that plays Harrison Wells, the many versions of himself, as well as the Reverse Flash in season 1 and in many other seasons later on in the show. And I love him as Reverse Flash. I thought he did a phenomenal job in the show. He is my favorite villain in the show. And I got this print signed by him, and he's also a very nice person. And I got this print signed, and I also got a selfie with him as well, because they did a bundle deal where you pay $100 and you get this print sign or whatever you want signed, and you also get a selfie. And thank God I had an extra $40 because he was cash only, and I only had enough for the autograph, but I had an extra $40 to spare, and it was enough to get the selfie, which I will actually put the selfie up right here. And of course I had to have him give me a vibrating hand through the chest. It only seemed natural, and it was really cool, and I could barely contain my excitement when he was doing that to me. So that was really awesome of him. While I was getting my selfie with Tom Cavanaugh, my sister finally was done with Brendan Fraser and found me at Tom Cavanaugh's booth, and my sister gave me my Blu-ray 4K Blu-ray copy of The Mummy, and here it is right here, signed by Brendan Fraser, and you can see it's signed in gold, and I thought that was really cool and very fitting for what this movie is. She told me, just like Grant Gustin, he was very formal because his assistants wanted to push people so that way many people can get his autograph, because there was a crap ton of people. And so after that, we were waiting by the photo op area, waiting for our photo op with Brendan Fraser as well as Grant Gustin, because my Grant Gustin photo op was before Brendan Fraser. And unfortunately this year, the photo op area on Saturday was a complete shit show. So there was a crap ton of people right where the photo op area, but there was also a line of people going through that photo op area, and we were wondering what that was. And apparently that was for Bruce Campbell's signing. And unfortunately, Bruce Campbell's signing was kind of limited per session. So like there was only 200 slots, and the guy said there was already 76 people already like confirmed to get his autograph. And I was wanting to get an autograph from Bruce Campbell because I love him in Evil Dead. It's one of my favorite horror franchises. But unfortunately, I did not want to wait in that ridiculous line, and I thought that Fan Expo Denver could have handled that line a lot better. Maybe make a separate area for Bruce Campbell, knowing how popular he was going to be. And Brendan Fraser's line was a lot more organized than Bruce Campbell's. But me and my sister were waiting. I had a little bit of time before my photo op with Grant Gustin. I decided to go to Danielle Panabaker's line, and I'm a little sad to say she didn't have many people in her line. I literally was the only person that got her autograph at the time I went, so I felt a little bad for her. But I decided to use the funds for Bruce Campbell over Danielle Panabaker because it was the same price. So I ended up getting a print sign from her, And here is the print I got for Danielle Pennebaker. She's a really nice person, and she's actually a huge part of my childhood. I used to watch her on Disney Channel and other movies that were part of the Disney Channel brand and stuff. And you know, I really liked her as Caitlin Snow, and she was really nice, and I got this signed from her, and yeah, it's really cool. And I wanted to get all of Team Flash because Team Flash was there. So she was there, Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco, as well as Candace Patton, who plays Iris in the show. And speaking of Candace Patton, she was the next person I went to straight after Danielle Pennebaker. And here is my signature on the print that she had there. And she's also a really nice lady, a very pretty lady too. And I felt bad for her a little bit too because she didn't have anybody in her line. Luckily for me, she accepted card because I didn't have any cash anymore for extra signatures because I wasn't planning on getting her signature, as well as Danielle Pennebaker's. But you know, I'm really glad I did because now I have both Barry Allen and Iris West Allen signature, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I didn't get the autograph from Carlos Valdez because I didn't have any more money, and I didn't want to use the ATM there because the ATM there will probably charge like $5-6 for the transaction. I was like, you know what, that's fine, whatever, maybe next year if he comes. So after that, I went to my photo op with Grant Gustin, which surprisingly there was a lot of people that wanted a photo op with him. And here is the photo op with me and Grant Gustin. And as soon as that was done, I went to grab my print, and then I had to walk all the way around back to my sister and find her in that massive crowd. And then we gathered our stuff and waited with that massive group of people, and apparently a majority of those people were there for Brendan Fraser's photo op. And we were group 4, so it took a long while before we were called up to be in the photo op. And when we did, it was so cool to meet him in person. And the dude is tall, so I knew he was over 6 foot, but seeing him in person, and I'm 5'5", so he's like a massive guy. But he was really cool. He put his arms around me and my sister, and I was pointing at him like this, and he was pointing at me because he noticed I was pointing at him. And he's such a sweetheart. He deserved all the attention he was getting there. And he actually had security detail with him, and I'm like, okay, who's hurting this man? Who wants to hurt this man? Because everybody loves Brendan Fraser, and it was really nice to meet him. So we got that photo op with him. So after the photo op with Brendan Fraser, my sister and I parted ways. She went to go see one of the people from Hell of a Boss, and I went straight to Tyler Hoechlin, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He is the man that plays Superman in Superman and Lois, the TV show. Love that show. It's one of the best CW shows out there. So I went to his table. Unfortunately, he was not there, but I decided to wait because I already got every other autograph I want. So might as well wait for him. And the volunteer that was there said that they don't know if he has enough time to come back and do any autograph signing. So I was starting to get a little worried. But fortunately for me, he actually showed up, and I was the very first in line. There was no VIPs that were going to get first dibs to get a signature for him. So I decided to, of course, I decided to get him to sign my copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and he is the voice of Sephiroth. And I asked him, you know, what came to be for him to voice Sephiroth, and he told me that he played Sephiroth because it was just an audition that came through and he auditioned for it. And he said that he's really glad that he did it nonetheless, so that's really cool. So now I have Sephiroth that signed this, so that's really cool. So after that, me and my sister went to Dante Basco, who is the voice actor for Zuko, my other favorite character in the show. And my sister and I both got signatures from him, and I decided to go with this print of Zuko with many different scenes with Zuko. And luckily for us, he ended up doing a quote for each of us when he wasn't supposed to, because he was, you know, chatting with us, and he was really nice, and he was actually like very chatty. So that was really cool, and I'm really glad I got this with Dante Basco's signature. So after I got the signature with Dante Basco, I decided to go back to Michaela Jill Murphy and maybe get something else, like a merch item or something from her table. And I wanted to get more selfies with her. and that's what I ended up doing. I didn't end up getting anything else because all the merch that she had on Thursday was all gone. The only thing that was left is prints. So I'm like, okay, it was a missed opportunity, but it's all right. So I did get selfies from her, and these are the selfies that actually I took with her, which is really nice. And I wanted to get the selfies because the photo op is just a single photo, where selfies, my sister ended up taking multiple pictures with me and Michaela. And like I said, she was really nice, and she remembered me from Thursday, so that's pretty cool. And I told her thank you for, being here. And I actually said that to every single person I saw during the entire expo, because they're taking time out of their day to be here and out of their busy schedules. So that was the last person I saw on Saturday, and that concluded my entire Fan Expo Denver experience. And I will say my experience with Fan Expo Denver this year was a lot better than last year, because last year me and my sister went very much unprepared, and this year we went more prepared. But I think next year we're going to be even more prepared and really hanker down how to really knock all of this out of the park. And next year's Fan Expo is actually a lot earlier than previous years. Usually it's during the 4th of July weekend, but next year is at the very end of May, which I honestly prefer because it's not as hot. And it's coming a lot sooner than this year, because it's not a year away, it's like 10 months away now. So that's really cool, and I'm going to start saving up for that just to see who's going to be there. My hope is Pedro Pascal's going to be there, because I'm a huge fan of his as well, but we will see. So that was everything I got at Fan Expo and my entire timeline of what me and my sister did. So I hope you guys enjoyed this different video, and I'll see you guys next time.